That is quite the look. Now, do you feel pressure that you gotta, like, I gotta do the upside down girl again?
No, I never feel pressure. I have so many things in life that I do. I don't do her often enough to feel bored. I don't do anything often enough to do bored. And I've created my life that way. Because not only do I do a celebrity impersonation, but the club kid, and so it keeps it interesting. And I host nightclubs. I don't just perform in clubs. And then I also am a makeup artist for film and television.
Right, thus the
so
Emmy.
I have another life there at the same time. So I never get bored. So that's why I've set it up that way. And it was not easy to do that. So it really is about balance because I'm also a makeup educator. So since I own my own company, Drag Makeup Academy, I teach makeup, drag makeup specifically.
Yeah, I mean, and the market for that has certainly probably gone off the charts in the last couple of years. Because drag, I mean, when you started drag, like it was a niche underground thing, and now you've seen it blow up to worldwide. How has it been watching that transition?
It has been very celebratory and wonderful and such a gift. Here's the thing, you know what? Just to live as long as I have, I'm 51, right? And just to live that long on this planet to witness any kind of change, all this change, you know? I used to use payphones.
Yeah, ever heard of voicemail? I remember that. Answering machines.
Yes, so drag has completely evolved. You know, it was very underground when I started, and it was actually looked down upon a bit if you were at the wrong place at the wrong time in a gay bar. Like, some bars did not want a drag queen in there.
Right.
At that time. So now, every gay bar has to have more than one.
Yeah. God bless drag. God bless them, everyone.
You know, and God bless, of course, Ru.
Yes, of course.
And I know Ru back from New York days, and I would see him dancing on the pedestal as a go-go dancer.
Yes, at those old Suzanne Barsh parties.
Yes, Suzanne, which coincidentally I host Suzanne Zoom parties.
Yes.
With Ryan Burke and Amanda Lepore and all the kids. And we have such a good time. Even though it's on Zoom, it is the best Zoom party anybody has ever gone to. I mean, there's nudity.
Wow, okay.
I said it.
I mean, you have that in common with Erica. She's a Suzanne Barsh girl.
Yep.
She has one of the greatest Suzanne Barsh impressions that we
of
mankind. Erica?
What should I say? What do I say?
Tell a line about the suitcase.
Oh my God. So shut up about the fucking bags already. What are you, on ecstasy?
If you want that story, you'll have to visit patreon.com/HeyQueenTV, where Erica tells it on the Zero Fucks podcast. All right, Glenn, if you can, hold your hands up in the air because we are about to go back in the time machine. Whoa.
Oh, like this.
Whoa. Oh my gosh. We're here in Lakewood, California.
Oh,
and there's a little feathered
going to
creature
Lakewood.
running through the woods.
Somebody do homework?
Yes. So you grew up about 30 minutes outside of Los Angeles in Lakewood.
Yes, I did.
What were you like as a kid? Artistic, I can imagine.
You know, here's the thing. I was artistic, and it was a very well-mannered, well-manicured suburb. So everybody kind of fit in a box, fit in a role, and I didn't. And I remember the first time I shared my creativity is I had a hand-me-down bike. I had one brother, 4 years older, hand-me-down bike. I didn't want everybody to think I was riding my brother's bike around, so I painted the bike, right? So it looked new, but I went into the garage and found the best paint color that I thought, you know, I could find, and it happened to be fuchsia pink. I didn't know the rules of color between boys and girls. It wasn't something I even cared to know. And so it was fuchsia pink, but of course now I'm a little gay boy. Who doesn't know he's a little gay boy? I'm 10 years old, and I have to add streamers to the bike.
Of course you do.
To the handlebars and the banana seat. Rainbow streamers so the wind could catch it.
Of course.
Now, you also had to hear us coming, right? So you had to hear me coming, so I put the baseball cards on the spokes, more than a couple. Okay. Lots of baseball cards on the spokes, and then I decorated each spoke by cutting McDonald's straws long ways in pieces, and you slip them onto the spokes, and you decorate the spokes, and then they go back and forth like this as the wheel turns back, and then you hear them and see them. I was a Rose Parade float.
Yes, you were.
It was the best moment in my life, the most freest, most creative. I was in that zone. I was like so connected to my heart for the first time in my life. And I took that bike onto the playground. And there was a couple boys on the playground. They called me over. And as soon as I got to them, I noticed they were actually disgusted at what I had done. They weren't actually happy to see me. And that wasn't the response that I thought I would get. And they said, did you do this to your bike? And I said, yes. And they said, can we help you take it off? So that was the first day my heart was fully open, and the first day my heart was fully broken.
Right.
And I rode home in tears, vowed never to share my art or my heart again. And that's when I learned how to hide the gay, hide the art, hide who I was, and try to be what you wanted me to be.
And so how did you end up coming through that? Because, I mean, how old, you were young when that happened.
That was 10.
10, I mean, 10. Like the teenage years are the toughest.
You know, and I've told that story before, and many people share with me, they had very similar experiences. As soon as they shared any part of their gayness, or just art in general, they were shut down. So I shut down. Here's another part of the story, right? Maybe not every kid's journey, but every alcoholic's journey. I was introduced at 15 to drugs and alcohol. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to discover your art again, just get high.
I see.
Get drunk and high, and all of a sudden, I thought, you know what? I think I'm going to be creative again. You know what? I think I want to be me again. And that worked, except I was an alcoholic, and then bad things happened.
Yeah.
Not just good things. And so I had to get sober after lots of bad things, and I got sober at 23. So I've been sober 28 years now.
Wow, that is very impressive. That deserves a clap too.
Right?
Because, honey, it ain't easy.
No. So I get to perform, I get to host, I get to be creative, I get to be a club kid, and I can do it without drugs and alcohol. So my message is that to many kids out there and adults is, yes, you can do it without drugs and alcohol. You don't need to, you know, take psychedelics to be psychedelic.
Exactly. Look right there. I'm tripping out right now. So at what point as a teenager did you really start to discover drag?
So at the point when I started using drugs and alcohol, you know what? Here's the crazy thing. You know, I just wanted to experience life. I was so tired of behaving and acting like how everybody wanted me to act. So, you know, I found the creative kids and started hanging out with them. And here's the thing, it wasn't too hard because it was the 80s. Mm-hmm. So right. It was the 80s, period.
Yeah.
And you know, I loved to wear the eyeliner like Duran Duran. Uh-huh. You know, I loved to color my bangs like John Taylor.
Yes.
And then I would dye them blue just because I felt like it with food coloring. So some kids who did drag, I didn't know they did, but they did drag and they said, hey, you like clothes and makeup, you want to do a drag show with us. And so that's how I started. My dad was a tailor, so he had sewing machines in the garage. So I started making my own clothes with the sewing machines that were there.
Wow, I think we have a picture of you as a baby drag right here. Let's take a look, honey.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Right? That is drag mixed with club kid, because that is very Grace Jones, but it's also very Boy George.
Yeah, it is.
So I married those two together. And so that wasn't a performance number, that was a club a weekend outfit.
Right. And so,
isn't that great?
What was
in high school? Come on.
That is incredible.
I was getting my life.
Getting your life.
And you know, I went to cosmetology in high school, ROP. I was going to quit school. My dad was going to let me go to design school because he was a tailor. And so I went to the counselor and they said, how about going to cosmetology and learning hair? And he loved it because that would be free, and design school was $10,000 at the time. And so I went to cosmetology. I remember trans girl, Kimberly Galloway, and her nickname for me was Miss Santa Monica. Because every week I was out on Santa Monica Boulevard, just, huffing it. And I would sneak my friends out of the house because they would have to run away from home to go out on the weekend. And my dad actually let me, thank God my dad was the coolest, right? He took pictures of me in the backyard with my dresses on.
Wow.
Because I wanted to show the school what kind of designer I was. And, but he said, you can go out as late as you want, as long as you go to school the next day. That was the deal.
And that worked, I guess.
And it actually did work. It actually did work. Yeah.
Wow. So when was your very first show as a drag queen?
I think, my very first show was at Peanuts.
Uh-huh.
Right? So we would just hang out, some of us drag queens, watching the professional show, the cosmetics. And so a couple of us got together and we became the LA Dolls. So we created our own show on Wednesdays, which almost no one went to. But we wanted to be in a show, and so that was my first show. But I remember, I think I felt my first success in high school at the lip sync contest. I was a senior in high school. They had a lip sync contest, and I got second place when I was a junior, and because I did Pete Burns, Dead or Alive.
Right.
I kind of watered down the whatever I could do. So I love Pete Burns. So I thought, you know what? Second place is not good enough. It's just not.
Never enough.
So I said, I got to do what I do best and do drag. And so I made a gold lame gown with a wide brim hat. Very Dynasty, if you guys remember Dynasty. Gold lame, right? And I start with Berlin, Take My Breath Away. This is outdoors in the quad in high school, outdoors. And I made, bitch, when I tell you I made flyers for that show, because I wanted every motherfucker to be there. And so in this gold lame dress, and so a minute into the song, I peel off the dress, take off the white brim hat, shake out my long hair, and have this mini skirt and this tube top on and go into Samantha Fox, Touch Me Now. Oh my God. First place.
Just bet.
Just saying.
Yes.
Come on. In high school, I already knew it was about the reveal.
That's right. Legendary from the start. Now, make sure you're following Glen Alen on social media for all of his looks, and make sure that you're following us at Hey Qween TV on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Black People Meet, J-Date, Christian Mingle. Erica, make up a website.
NeonDream.com.
Thank you. I like how you said it, too. NeonDream.com. Okay, Glenn, now it's time to play a little game. We're going to play a little round of Hot Look, Hot Take. We're going to take a look at some of your spot on impressions and looks you've created of some of the most famous divas in the world and get your hot take on what it takes to do those looks.
Hot take.
Hot take, all right.
Hot take.
Let's start with the first hot look. Lady Gaga, wow.
Yes, Lady Gaga, right? As soon as she did Bad Romance, just those beats, and then her, and then Hooked. It was it was really like a Bette Midler the Rose moment, where it was like, yes, whatever that is, that's in my heart, that's in my soul. I'm part of it. You're part of me, and that is Lady Gaga. From the get-go. And so I was inspired to create many of her looks, especially the strong costume ones, like, the Super Bowl. And that routine, and the other one that I did, which was the David Bowie tribute that she did. And they're very difficult. They are very difficult costumes, and I made my own costume. I do my own wigs, my own costumes, and so I do like being challenged, from Bette Midler to Lady Gaga. And sometimes I'll do Bette Midler first in a show, go backstage, put my Lady Gaga makeup on and outfit, and go back on stage.
Talk about gagging the children,
really fun.
Glenn.
And then and I'll do my makeup on Facebook Live so people get to watch, because I think it's really exciting what we do backstage, the energy, the challenge, the stress.
Yeah.
It's a great reality show. Of course, we see some of that on RuPaul Drag Race, but it really happens in real life, too.
Yes, it does. All right, let's look at another hot look. Babs.
Icon, these are our grand dames, that we bow down to. We meaning gay men and women, because they are such champions, and they've always stood by our side and fought for our rights, and helped to raise so much money too, to cure AIDS. And I'm a survivor of HIV for over 30 years now. So it means a lot to me that not just that someone is talented and a mega superstar, that's part of it, but that they support their fans, that they have a relationship with us. So I think that's more of a human connection that I'm more interested in than just sparkle and show.
Right. All right, another hot look. Amy Winehouse.
Amy girl.
Yes.
Amy's such a rebel. She was, her spirit still is, and that song and the uniqueness of her will last forever, I think. And again, I just love adding. I don't have a lot of time to keep adding some of my favorite artists like this. So when I do, it's very special to me that I get it done. I work so hard on studying every single movement, and that's what it is about celebrity impersonation. It's not just drag or dressing up as a character. That's Halloween. Celebrity impersonation is feeling the feelings of the song first, then studying every single movement of their hand and how fast they turn their head and the shapes they make with their lips as they're singing, where they look during that given sentence or phrase in that song. So it's all of those mannerisms. And, and lip syncing too, I must say, is not just memorizing the words, but it's memorizing the breath between the words.
Yes.
That sells the lip syncing.
I mean, that's how to really sell it. You're right. I hope y'all young drag queens at home are taking notes, honey.
Hello, children. Click here. Click here. And subscribe. You're welcome.